Hi, I'm Gary White for Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Bill Fell, who we've had the pleasure of following around for the Blooming Bardstown Garden Tour for, I think this will be our 7th year or so, maybe.
Yeah, you and I have been doing it several years. We've had a good time out there, seen a lot of different gardens. We've seen a couple of gardens twice, but you've gotten to see them mature, grow, really advance from the first time to the second time, and in some new places. We've seen water features, we've seen beehives, we've seen vegetable gardens, flower gardens, shade gardens, sun gardens. We've seen a little bit of everything.
We've got them all in there. And you're going to get an opportunity to see some this year as well. Bill is with the Master Gardeners here in Nelson County, and they're putting on the Blooming Bardstown Garden Tour. It's going to be Saturday, June the 8th this year.
Rain or shine.
And it's been pretty shiny for
so
far,
yeah,
right?
It's avoiding the jinx, but we have not yet had a rainy day on the tour.
That's great.
So far, so good.
So if anybody out there who's planning a wedding, always check to see when the Blooming Bardstown Garden Tour is going to be, and you'll know it's supposed to be a sunny day.
Just make sure you have the wedding after the tour is
Exactly, because you need to go on the tour. So it's going to be on Saturday, June the 8th this year. And what time?
The tour itself is from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For the gardens. However, we also have our silent auction, plant sale, and vendors on site that sell garden-related stuff. All that's available from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Extension office there at South 3rd Street.
Okay, and that's where you can kick off, get your map and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Well, right?
Yeah. Tells you where to go, tells you a little bit about each garden, and if you don't want to go on the tour, you can still come to the silent auction, still come to the plant sale, take a look at some of that stuff, buy a few plants, take them home, and finish off that summer garden.
But if you are interested in the tour, you need to get a ticket, and you can get tickets in advance.
That's right.
Or you can get them the day of as well, right?
That's right. If you can call the Extension office in advance, 502-348-9204, and they'll sell those tickets to you for $8 a piece, or you can come the day of, and then they're $10 a piece. If you have a large group, we do have a group discount at $7 a piece. Just again, call the Extension office for more information.
Okay. So for this year, how many gardens do we have on the tour?
Well, that's always in a little flux right up to the day of, Gary.
Okay.
So I don't want to say for sure because we'll get a couple added late, and then somebody will always have something come up and it knocks one out. So we try every year to have between 6 and 8 gardens. Mm-hmm. Usually one of them is a public garden, right. And the rest are private gardens. And this year shouldn't be any different. So we expect to have about the same. We'd love to have more. If you're interested in adding your garden to the tour, you can call the Extension office as well. But Bardstown, Nelson County is just the size that's about how many we can produce a year.
And we're getting close to the year that Bill says he's going to do it because your 2020 plan is coming up.
Yes. The wife and I have what we call the 2020 vision, and we wanted to get out there and get it out in 2020. However, we decided to get some puppies, and I think puppies have pretty much blown up 2019, so we may be out to 2021 or 22. And there's at least a few extra months in there for the holes that the puppies have dug. So. That's set us back a little bit, but I do hope eventually to be on the tour myself. I look forward to it.
But there will be some great gardens on there to see, and as
Sure.
Bill was mentioning, every year there's a variety of different kind of gardens to see. So when
Right.
you think of a garden, you just think of you have the vegetable garden and you have a flower garden, but also we've had. I remember the first one I think we attended was a rock garden,
Right.
That they had, and then
Yep.
they have a variety of different things. Are there any particular that you can think of that somebody might be able to look forward to for this year?
Well, we try to leave them as a surprise, but we do very intentionally try to mix things up. We try to make sure that we show what you could do in a really small space, and we've had gardens the size of this room, and we've had some acres sized gardens, right? We try to get both the city mice and the country mice into the tour. If you just had 6 gardens or 8 gardens or 10 gardens that were all with the same perennials, because you got the same day every year, you'd see the same variety of flowers and there wouldn't really be any difference. And we want to keep it exciting, we want to keep it interesting. So sometimes we have a garden lined up, but we decide to move it out a year ourselves because we want to make sure that we keep the variety in what we're showing. But what's interesting and what I think is really neat about gardening is that while everybody can sort of enjoy the same hobby, nobody has quite the same eye. Nobody has quite the same palate. Maybe I love perennials, maybe Gary loves perennials, but then I like only hot colors, so I'm planting red, oranges, and yellow flowers. But maybe you prefer pastels, so you're doing light blue, lavender, pink. Just a different palette of color,
Right.
where you have all the flowers blooming at the same time, but you've just picked a different variety, and that makes the garden look completely different,
Right.
even though it's using some of the same exact plants.
Absolutely. And so it's the Master Gardeners who actually put the program on, right?
Yeah, and Nelson County is the Kentucky Home Master Gardeners. The Master Gardener program is a program developed through the Extension Service nationwide. In the state of Kentucky, it's run by the University of Kentucky as the extension, through the Extension Office. And our role is to help support the extension agents in each county. So many counties in Kentucky have a Master Garden or Master Gardeners Association. Washington County has one. We have one. Bullitt County has one. Nearby, Jefferson County has one. So several counties have them, a lot more than that. But each one works independently to help the local extension agents in their county with horticultural education, local beautification, and other projects.
Which is nice because when you're going on the tour as well, you have the volunteers and individuals from the Master Gardeners who will be at the different houses. So if you have questions, they can actually help you and answer those questions about what you see or how you can possibly mimic something you see in your own garden too.
Well, sure, absolutely. And of course, the good thing is, even if that gardener doesn't know the answer to your question, we know where to go to get the help. Part of being a Master Gardener is sort of knowing what your limitations are and recognizing that this is the person to call for that and that's the person to call for that. Because again, I was just mentioning we had different palettes. Well, there's also people who just, maybe somebody in the group knows specifically about shrubs and that's their thing. I know in our group, we have somebody who's just a specialist in daylilies. We got somebody else who's a specialist in hydrangeas. So each person sort of has that personal interest. And so if you see a hydrangea you don't recognize, you can call the hydrangea person and they can tell you all about that hydrangea. So it's everybody has their specialty.
Absolutely. And again, it's going to be on Saturday, June the 8th. Going to kick off at
the
tour.
The tour itself is 9 a.m. and then the silent auction and vendors and plant sale all begin at 8 a.m. So you can kind of mosey around the parking lot while it's still cool, buy some plants, buy some stuff to decorate your garden with, and then head out on the tour. Make a day of it.
Absolutely, and you have starting at 9 going till 4, so you have that
That's
whole
right.
day to get out there and enjoy and experience tours throughout Nelson County. They'll give you a nice map so you can follow around and know where you're going.
That's right.
And they also mark them with a nice flower as well.
That's right. When you're driving
properties.
through the tour, you'll see wooden sunflowers. That we have a certain sunflower that's the symbol for our organization. We have some wooden cutouts that look kind of like our symbol. And yeah, we plant those sunflowers near the mailboxes and at the critical turns to get you to the location. So even if you're not great with GPS or you don't like to use Google Map while you're driving, we have some ways to help get you there.
And again, it's better to get your tickets in advance because they're a little cheaper and also helps them plan out. But you can get them the day of. They're a little more. They're $10 a day of. If you get them in advance, they're $8, and you can get them at the extension office, right?
That's right. You can call ahead. They also, I believe, we usually you can go to the tourist center in the old courthouse and purchase them there as well in advance.
Absolutely. Or if you have a whole group, get a whole group together, and you get even better discounts, like $7.
Right. $7
right?
instead of $8. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And what's the phone number for them to call for the extension?
502-348-9204.
Great. And again, I've been talking with Bill Fell, who is with the Master Gardeners, Kentucky Home Master
The
Gardeners.
Kentucky Home Master Gardener, yeah.
And if you're interested in that program as well, you can always kind of...
Same phone number, straight to the extension office. We are having a class in the fall, we believe. The class lasts just a couple months. You meet once or twice a week for a couple months. Includes a field trip to the University of Kentucky Extension Garden, usually, and it has a series of different things. It is not remarkably difficult. It does cover a lot of different areas of gardening, like fertilization, sun versus shade, insect, beneficial and dangerous to your garden. Several different categories that apply to gardening, and you don't truly have to be an expert, but you do have to be interested in volunteering to help your community, because fundamentally the Master Gardeners are a volunteer organization.
Absolutely. And if you get inspired at the tour, you can become a Master Gardener in the fall.
That's right. Yeah, come on out to the tour, sign up, we'll get you in there in that class, and then you can join us. We do several different things. This is our only fundraiser, the tour, but we have several different projects that we contribute to. Some of our fundraising money goes to things like books at the Nelson County Library. We do the scholarships for the 4-H camps of Nelson County. We do a lot of local beautification in Bardstown proper, including the signage as you enter the city. We do some of the flowers around the old courthouse, and maintain some other areas. The library garden, children's library garden, we maintain that, and several other projects around town.
So again, it's going to be on Saturday, June the 8th for the annual Blooming Bardstown Garden Tour. Get your tickets at the Extension office, and we hope to see you out there.
Yeah, I know I'll see you there, right, Gary?
That's right, I'll be there. This has been Gary White with Bill Fell with the Kentucky Home Master Gardeners, talking about the Blooming Bardstown Garden Tour on June the 8th.